Good morning and a warm welcome to you all. I, Ms. Shushma Kindalkar, is your host for today. We continue with our Satgun Sang Meet 122nd virtual webinar on the topic Entrepreneurial Success, which is starting from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Indian time. The speaker, Mr. Neil Ramesh, shall cover Understand Success in the Right Perspective, some facts and myths of being a successful entrepreneur, key criteria to become a successful entrepreneur, how do you perform this competitive market, followed by question and answer session. Agenda for the Satgun Sang Meet. First, we'll have virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, introduction of the speaker, presentation by Mr. Neil Ramesh, question and answer session, and at the last, we'll have the closing session. Dr. Sundar Kataria, he's a chairman and managing director for ICS and its group. Satgun Sang, conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Satgun Sang is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. He has done doctorate into business management, mechanical engineer. Experience is into Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, which is India's first nuclear power plant RAPP at Rawat Bhata, Kota, built by Indian engineers. Worked as a nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the plant. Engineers India Limited, the first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High Offshore Oil and Gas Field, Mega Offshore Complex Platform, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection and indigenization oil and gas equipment, etc. DNV World, he has worked for 17 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshore installation, submarine pipelines, onshore projects, and personal qualification. ICS, he is the founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body established in the year 1999. Provider of a total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO, inspection, testing, and training qualification of personnel. He has received a Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA. Social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental, and safety. Welcome you, sir, and I request you to virtually inaugurate today's session.
Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhana sampadah Shatru buddhi vinashaya Deepajyotir namostute Deepajyotir namostute Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhana sampadah Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhana sampadah.
Please join us for the recitation of Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Mr. Neil Sharma. He's a business coach, MSME consultant, corporate trainer. He has done MSc in Inorganic Chemistry from Mumbai University, Diploma in in Quality System and Management, Masters in Psychotherapy, Diploma in Business Administration. Area of specialization and experience is into train, stop, safely training observation program developed by DuPont. Over 28 years of experience with various organizations at middle and senior management level, covering production, including shop floor safety, production planning, supply chain management, human resource management, learning and development. Competency development facilitator, consultant, mentor, and counselor. We welcome you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sushma ji,
Thank you,
for the
sir.
wonderful introduction. A very good morning to all of you. And at this juncture, I think it will be very appropriate and really right if I thank each one of you. In fact, my special thanks to SJK Foundation and Satgun Sangh. And of course, it's really an awesome thing that you're having this 122nd virtual webinar that shows the commitment for the community and what you're doing. My special thanks and respect to Dr. Sundar Kataria ji. I think it's indeed a privilege and pleasure to be associated and given this opportunity to share my thoughts. And I'm sure that it will only bring us more closer for a common cause. So thank you so much. I also would like to give my thanks to Sri Sudesh Sharma ji, through whom I could get introduced to this platform. Thank you so much. He's always been there with me. So it's a wonderful opportunity as I look forward to share some thoughts about the topic that we are going to discuss, that is entrepreneurial success. So once again, good morning to each one of you who have gathered here, although virtually, yes, but we are all here for a common purpose to share our experience. And I'm sure because this August group is all full of experience. So virtual doesn't matter. We are here together, connected with something common. And I hope that this next 1.5 years would be something that we would really take back and help us to connect more better and look forward to serve the community. And it's really heartening to see how this foundation is reaching out and doing so much for the community. So once again, a very, very good morning to each one of you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this topic, I mean, it would have been wonderful if we could have connected face to face and we could have had some wonderful interactions, because connecting face to face, of course, brings a different energy. But all the same, nonetheless, we have this digital platform, which is the next best to connect, and we can connect across the globe here. So I'm sure there are lots who are joined in. And we're going to talk about an interesting topic, and why we call it interesting and important, because I think each one of us, in whatever profession we are, we may even be employed or we may be having our own business or in whatever professional field, but still at heart and mind, we do have this entrepreneurial mindset. And I think entrepreneurs are very important to the market economy. And that's how we also see even the screen, what it is there. When the government is talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat, it means nothing but that everyone needs to contribute to make India self-reliant. That's only through entrepreneurship. So it is a very important thing which contributes to the market economy. because they act as real wheels of economic growth of the country. Yes, of course, by creating new products and services, it also stimulates new employment and, of course, resulting into acceleration of economic development. So, needless to say, it's an important topic, a topic which I think we are all associated, connected in some way or the other. And it's very apt that I'm getting this opportunity to share my thoughts with you all. And it's not a subject which is that we don't know. We are all in different stages of entrepreneurship, or even if it is we are in service in an organization, still that mindset does matter. So let's talk about this entrepreneurial success. Now, the word success, again, before I even dive into what I've got to share, success means different to different people, right? So we'll see what it means, something that I would like to share, and maybe we could have some good interaction towards the end if that's the format that we are going to follow. We have about an hour and a half to share and to know something more about entrepreneurial success. I would like to actually, if someone could respond, how many of you in this group, I think we have more than 45, 50 participants. How many of you are entrepreneurs in this group? A quick response, or how can we get a feel of it?
I request everyone to please interact.
Yeah, please, if you can interact, that would make it more engaging with all that we are doing it digitally, but still.
So we have 1, 2 messages.
Yeah. So, okay, there is a reply that fairly large participants on this category in one way or the other. That's wonderful. So I think we'll go by that statement because of the time that we need to be considerate about. So each one is an entrepreneur in one way or the other, and there could be entrepreneurs in different stages, maybe at the start of their business, or they would be in the scaling up, or they would have been already established or growing up or still growing up in different stages, right? So let's look at this aspect. I would like to have some answers or responses as to reasons why people start business, because I thought this is the first point where we could start off. Why people really start business. You are an entrepreneur, right? But then there would be a strong motive, a purpose, or maybe more than one reason for which people start business. Can I look forward to some responses, maybe verbal or maybe chat, one or few of them, just to keep it going? Yes, please.
Yeah, basically to love for the country, to serve our own country.
Wow, wonderful, sir. I mean, no wonder it will come from you only, such noble thought. Yeah, anyone else would just like to throw some points on this, what they feel? There's nothing right and wrong, it's each one, and I think almost everyone should be putting it right. Just one or two. Okay, fine. I think we'll move ahead at this point of time. I have certain points that I've just put. There could be umpteen reasons, okay? Starting from one end, the most noble cause, something to contribute for the nation, for the economy, for service of others. Yes, to down to something very basic and bottom line, that is to earn money and earn profit. And I don't think there is any business who does not want to earn profit or money. So let me just put few of the topics that drives people for business. Okay. Maybe you can align with it, you can connect with it the way you want. So the first foremost is lifestyle. Okay. Now we all have a lifestyle. And what I mean by lifestyle is the life that we would want to live. It means all the needs and necessities, wants, desires, everything that you want to be part of your life. Maybe a good house, you want a good car, you want to have a luxurious life, or you want to have something that you desire, that this should be my lifestyle. Now, when you talk about this is something personal which comes in. So this is one thing that drives people to start a business, because they want to live a life of their own, a style that their own. See, one could be employed, one could be working under or serving others. It's like working under someone. And then you are conditioned, or you're limited, restricted to various aspects, right from your working time, the time it's available for you, the income, and so many other restrictions. So somewhere we need to break free, and we need to follow our lifestyle. So this is one where people look at it as, I am free to choose the lifestyle that I want. So that freedom is something that also makes people to step out of employment, or having a successful employment career, to start something of their own. So this is also there. Many top-notch corporate people, or people who are in good positions, have stepped out at various stages of their life. It's not only that it's the young people, even 50 and above have stepped out and made successful in a business. So one of it could be the lifestyle that we want to really follow, because having your own business or your own entrepreneurship venture could help you to define that and pursue that. The next very important is legacy. And that is what even Dr. Sundar said. What is it, the footprint that you want to leave behind? What is the legacy that you want to do behind? It's something of the giving. It's something that you want to give back, and something that people or the coming generation should remember you, not for the money you made, not for your lifestyle, but something that you have given back to them, which has changed people's lives, which has improved people's life, made life easy, or whatever it is. And you could see so much of it happening all around. So leaving behind a legacy is again one real driving point. At some stage of our life and career, we think back and say, oh, what have I done in my life? Okay, all along I've been working, or okay, what's there in working? Not that everyone should be in business. There are people who even serve through employment, but then this is one kick that people get, is, yes, what am I really there? What's the purpose? What am I leaving behind for the coming generation? So that's one, again, a reason. The next, of course, is sell. Now, when I use the word sell, it's not that word that you just sell something. Okay. When you sell, it means that there is a product or service that you are really giving, offering to people. And it is being sold, yes, because it's a business. So the point that you have something, you have conceived, developed, and something to offer to the people, which you are ready to sell. So this selling also, that I have something, you have all the knowledge, the technology, the expertise, the niche, that you can do something and offer back, you can sell back. So that again becomes the transition from a business idea to what you're really going to give it back and sell to the society for consumption, for the consumers and all of us. So the selling also makes, because it gives you a satisfaction when you sell. I don't know whether you experience it when we walk into a shop or anywhere, a closing of a deal, or when, I don't know whether you observed people after, you go to any mall or shop or anywhere, where after you have purchased something, just look at the glee, at the satisfied face of the person who sells. Imagine when you could sell more products, more services. At the end of the day, things are available and made available, and people are there to buy it. It makes a difference, because finally any business, any entrepreneur is there who makes a product or service जो लोगों को चाहिए या लोग लेते हैं, खरीदते हैं. So it is important from that point of view. And the last but not the least is again something that Doctor just mentioned, is the philosophy. What is the philosophy for you to start business? What is your basis? What is your purpose? What is it? It's not about just making money. Okay. So it's much beyond that. Let me share with you a following slide which will explain it to you. This thing of legacy and the other thing, we all know about Steve Jobs. I just took it from Google because I thought there is nothing to work around. It is so apt what is being showed here. So as it says, your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped in a dogma, which, what happens is it results of other people's thinking. So you're not someone who's going to act and behave as a result of other people's thinking. Okay. And don't let that noise and others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have that courage to follow your heart, right? And something that you have within your own originality. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything is secondary. So that becomes the real driving force. And again, as it said here, what Mark Twain has said, if you look at here, what has he said? Creating something that will outlive you is an incredible motivation for entrepreneurs. As you have the opportunity to change lives, and legacy lasts longer than money or experience ever will. Mark Twain said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowliness, sail away from a safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. So I just wanted to start off on this note because it really gives a motivation. Even if we are an entrepreneur, I think it gives us that vitamin M or that boost that we are in entrepreneurship and we are at the right place. So the beginning is important, that we have the right motive and we redefine or revisit the very purpose why we are in business or we are in as an entrepreneur. So on this upbeat note, I would just like to take off and talk about the topic that we are going to discuss is entrepreneurial success. Yes, we are all business people, and I do also say that we would be successful. We are successful in different levels. Okay. But the point here is when we are talking of entrepreneurial success, now success, we all know what it means, and there are so many definitions to it. People say success is not the destination, it's a journey. It's not by chance, it's by your free will, it's by choice. There are so many statements there. But then why still, it, what you call, evades people? Why all are not successful? And when we define entrepreneurial success, why does it still not come into our grip and we really feel upbeat about it that we are successful? So there could be many reasons. And first of all, let's get back to this point that everything starts in the mind. Okay. So it's all what we feel, think, believe in the mind. And that begins the start of the story. So the first statement that I have put on the screen, which is what we just try to settle down. It's okay just being okay. Things are moving on, okay, chal raha hai. And I tell you, post-COVID, I think a lot of us have gone through a lot of turmoil at this period, and it's been really challenging. And many a times, whenever such challenges come or ups and downs, which is part of business or entrepreneurship, we always get shaken. And many a times we say, oh Lord, just let's get going, or just let's survive, just move on, Baba. At this time, I don't want to upset the cart. I don't want to take risk. I don't want to look, just be there. But then, okay, that should be a very temporary phase. So this let it be anyone, and it's the small timer, the person, people who started off very small, who have made big, and they have made big not because they got some windfall or they got some bit support or something magical happened, but yes, magical did happen, but that happened in their mind, where they said yes, they challenged this statement that it's okay just being okay, if it's okay just if I am running some small business. And that's where now I'm focusing on when we talk about the segment which is the growing segment that government and everyone is focusing is the MSME, the medium small scale industries, because they are the power pack and they are the backbone for the country, for the economy. But then the mindset is what really constrains and holds them back. So this is something we need to challenge and say a big no. We have to mentally say no. We don't want to remain just being okay. चल रहा है ना, ठीक है, चलो चलते रहने दो भाई, रिस्क नहीं लेना है, कुछ नहीं चल रहा है ना. Because let me tell you, something that rules everyone today is one single word, that is the word fear. The word fear factor is on which people or this world thrives to capitalize. But we should be conquerors. We should be people who should be saying no to fear, because fear is something again that takes birth here. Even if it is something physically or whatever it is challenging, but still there is a way out there, because we have been created that way by God, that we can conquer. We can do the impossible, but it has to start here and say no to mediocrity, say no that we just can remain in the same stage. So let's look at what really would make it. Means we need to unlock our thinking and change. So we need to unlock our thinking and change what? The conversation. That's very important. What we talk, what we share. Many a times, anything, can I request you all to please mute? Yeah, thank you. So we thinking, and what does it mean is you have to change the conversation within ourselves and what we utter out of our mouth. It's very powerful. It can be extremely negative or extremely positive. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Neil, you're audible.
Yeah, thanks. Because just a small response would keep me going. That's the reason. Thank you.
You're going
So
good.
this
You're going good.
Thank you, sir. So this conversation is very important. Many a times we do this negative self-talk. We say to ourselves, it's okay. Oh, it's not possible. Oh, it's risky. I don't know what will happen. So all these things today, what we are talking about, whatever you call it a VUCA world or a Bani world or whatever you call it, the situation is going to be, and it has always been like that. Okay, but it's all to us what change in the conversation we do, that we can do it, we can achieve, and beyond every challenge, there is an opportunity that is there. And we don't need to limit ourselves, that although we would have started small, we need to remain. Yeah, Dr. Sundar, you want to share something?
No, not at this moment. Maybe later
Okay,
on. Just
fine.
is going great, and it's very simple way you are presenting it. It's very nice.
Yeah, thank you, because I didn't know the audience, so I said, let me make it more
Yeah.
across so that one can connect, because I
Uh,
believe in simplicity.
Sure. I could
Thank
connect
you
with
so
my
much.
life, what you are explaining.
Sure, please, sir, and please feel free to add on. In fact, that only makes it more enriching.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
welcome, sir. Yeah. So again, we remain contented with whatever we have. It's not okay for us to be happy, just to be like, as the word says, to be vendors on one side of the road. What do you mean is just doing small business, being here at people's mercy, or halat ka mara hua. And it's not about just selling fruit and vegetables. What I mean by that is we are made for something bigger. And we as entrepreneurs, as we have all gathered here, I just want to encourage each one of us. It applies to you, me, everyone. And as Dr. Sundar said, each one could connect to his or her experience. And experience is more powerful because it gives a lot of practical learning. So wherever we can connect the thread, that's wonderful. So we move ahead with this thought that is in the mind. And we say that for how much longer will we continue to be just satisfied or contented or be happy with the status quo of the past and present? Yes, we have been successful. We have come thus far because of all that strengths we have had. Okay. God given strengths, our ability, education, experience, qualification, business acumen, all these strengths are there. And that has brought us thus far here. From the past to the present, we are and still ongoing. But what will your story be? The fact is we need to change the narrative of entrepreneurship. So that's where I want to trigger each one or really kindle each one of us, that we need to think that. And whilst I'm saying it applies to each one of us. Yeah. So there is this small story that I think most of you would know. I just put it as an illustrative so that if you're not able to connect, at least you can know. It's about a wonderful story about a mullah, yeah, Nasruddin Mullah, about the lost key. How many of you know about this? This small humorous story, but with a lot of learning. I'll just have a look at the chat. Yeah, of course, I think few comments are there. Giving back to society, earn money, maybe consequential, fulfill one's passion. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. I think I just missed out reading. But anyone knows this story? Yeah. It's a wonderful, it's a humorous thing, but with a lot of insight. I'll just narrate it to you all. The upper thing which you see in the cartoon is the slightly modern version. You can read it for yourself. But the story goes like this, that Nasruddin Mullah lost his key, okay? And he was found searching in a place under the lamp post, okay, under the lamp post, and he was trying to search. So there was a passerby who came. He said, what this poor guy is searching, can I also help him? So he volunteered, said, what are you searching for? He said, I am searching for my lost key. Oh, okay, chalo. So then both of them embarked on that searching, uh, effort. So they kept on searching for some time beneath the lamp post, where the lamp was there, the light was there. And after some time, they couldn't find the key. But then this passerby who volunteered to help asked Nasruddin Mullah, "Ki boss, do you really know where you have dropped the key?" He said, yeah, I know. I have dropped it in my house. But then he said, oh my hell, what God, why are you searching here if you have dropped in the house? The answer that he gave, ki my house, there is no light, it's dark there, and here there is light. So I thought I better search here because light is here. So this is what happens. The key is in the house, there is no light. So you leave that, you know where it is, and then, but you search at a place only because something happens to be more brighter or someone else's things has to be more better. So we come and search there hoping to find solutions. So the answer here, or the lesson what we could imbibe, is that when things going tough, that there is no light or something, the solution still comes. If you challenge the situation there, you fight it out, you find a way out at where the problem is, rather than looking at someone else's success or moving out to somewhere else where you are not really inclined and you don't expect to find an answer. Many a times we get attracted by such superficial glamours or something external, which is really not what we are supposed to be in business. So instead of diving deep into where we should be, we spend our time and energy elsewhere and then get lost. And then we say, oh, we are not able to find the key. So this is a very simple story, but it gives a lot of insight. So we need to really be clear where are we supposed to look at. It might apparently look that, oh, jagah pe difficult hai, light nahi hai, all these things. But khair, those are facts of life. But then we need to really find the answer there, because that's where the key is. And only when you remove that cloud from there, you address that challenge, take the situation head on, that you are going to find solution and not run away from it just because it is dark there and you go somewhere else where there is light. And that need not be the light that we are looking for. So this was just this small story that I would like to share. So let's look at the scenario what normally dampens an entrepreneur. We continue to be stuck with challenges, issues, external scenarios, all these things, And of course, we have enough of serious examples of the just gone by COVID. And even now the news is surfacing up that COVID is still coming. People are being affected, cases are going up, all these things are there. Yes, I am not demeaning that we should not be careful. We should have what you call do due diligence. We should have the wisdom, everything. But that doesn't mean we should lose out. We shouldn't be losing out on a situation. We need not be stuck. I would just share an example of what happened just yesterday when we were to have a meeting where we were to meet. One of the person texted me telling, oh, COVID is rising. Can we really meet? I was so much taken aback by the fear factor that has set in people by what has gone by. So even now, a small meeting where 5, 6 of us were supposed to meet, this gentleman asked me, oh, COVID is being reported. Is it good, safe enough to meet? So one can understand what does it mean or what happens. So this is where the fear factor comes and where we are getting stuck to challenges, issues, external scenarios. All these are going to be part of our life. So we need to see where the key has actually been lost. Where have we lost on the track of growing up, breakthroughs, taking up, from just survival to really something breakthroughs. Okay, we have to conquer the storm. So the problem is much deeper. The deeper problem is what? Again, as I said, it's something that starts at the mind. It's our inability to understand the ecosystem and life cycle of entrepreneurship. When we talk of entrepreneurship, there are stages in entrepreneurship. It's a journey, and we need to understand the ecosystem of the entrepreneurship life cycle. So the deeper thing is, we think everything has to just happen. We want to jump the steps, but it's not. It's a progression, and we need to take it on stages. So the fact is, finally, if we have to take it out, not finally, but if we have to really put back, because everyone again now, I think each one will have in his mind, oh, success क्या है? कुछ है क्या मैं बताने वाला हूँ या कोई भी आपको बता सकता है कि सक्सेस मंत्रा क्या है? But the fact is, there is no secret sauce to success. No one can spell success for you. We, each one of us, need to spell what is success for me based on my business, my purpose, what is my business all about, and what am I driven by. So there is no secret sauce to success, and there is no one formula that can be applied everywhere and say, okay, applying this will be successful. Yes, but that doesn't mean there are some fundamental things that we all need to keep in mind. Some basic principles, of course, will be there, which will be same. Yeah, like hard work, persistence, so many things I'll just share with you, which is all known to each one of us. It's not that we don't know, but subjectively, how you apply and integrate various principles. There could be a list of principles are there, but you can't apply everything everywhere. And when it comes to practicality, and when you really hit a roadblock or have a challenge at place, many a times we fall back. And these principles, although they are there, we don't know which one to apply where and when and how. So we need to have subjectively, how do we apply and integrate these multiple principles and then make them successful? So there are different ways, We all know about this oxymoron. Sometimes they are contradictory. They may have the same thing, but they may have a different meaning, various things. But we need to understand this. So we need to know what's the smart way and the wise way. So that's what, when we talk about success, and again, something that I would like to share very simply for each one of us, success is something that should not go to your head. As I said, success is not a destination. Success should be inbuilt in the process, in the way we do, in the way we feel we serve others, the way our whole purpose of being in business or entrepreneurship. So we need to be stop being obsessed about success. More so that success should be a motivator to us to take it on further. Just like you have KPIs in an corporate, which is key performance indicators. Your success should be more like a measure. What takes you every time it demands from you or takes you from one level to another level to do more, better, bigger, brighter. And for that purpose, we have to take that step, challenge it out, go into the dark, face the dark, and which means that it's not that every time I try, I succeed. And I think enough statements are there, experiences and examples are there when we say failures are stepping stone to success and what not. There are ample, but then these are all very, very valid. And the most important, what I want to put it across is, it's again in the mindset. We get so disheartened by failures that we say, oh, if I fail, I just look around and see others succeed. I feel then I am a failure in all respect. The point that there is no hope, I can't go further, I have to settle down. This is the only thing. No. We need to accept that to fail is okay. And for that purpose, I can fail, but it's only that every failure gives you one more experience, where your experiment did not fail, but your mission has not failed. Experiment could have failed, but you are still on the path and journey, which is what we need to do. So some more points which are there, which I thought motivates me, I could share with you all quickly. For it on the screen, you can just read it out. These are all people who have made it big in entrepreneurship and business. It's there on the screen. I may not read all these, but these are there for each one of us. Yeah. So we need to understand, actually, before we get into the success path, we need to know कि हमारा पैर कहाँ पे अटका है, किस दलदल में या किस कीचड़ में या कहाँ पे फास्ट स्टक हुआ है. So where is it? And this is where a very significant thing which I learned down my business experiences, we have come thus far. Many a times our strength itself becomes our bottleneck or handicap. Why? Because we enjoy basking in our strengths. Yes, our strengths are our strengths, but that has brought us thus far. Many times, if yes, it has worked for me, it will work in future also. अब तक काम किया है, ये मेरा बलबूते पे किया है मैंने, वहां से यहाँ तक मैं आया हूं, आगे भी यही करते रहूंगा तो काम चलेगा. But no, yesterday's stand is today's what? Core incompetence. That is why we need to challenge when things are not moving or when our foot is stuck. We need to see whether our strength is coming in our way. Sometimes, many a times, that itself holds us back, then experimenting, taking challenges, doing something new. All that we need to challenge. Today, the whole thing in entrepreneurship is breaking those norms, challenging the very thing that is happening. You need to break that. And that's where new things start happening. If you don't break the status quo, new things can never happen. And this is something I've experienced in negative and positive, where, because certain things work. Let me tell you, as a corporate trainer, business coach, a lot of things work pre-COVID. There was something, it's not that I didn't have the capability, but post-COVID, you need to change your ways. As simple as that, you need to go digital. You need to take on digital marketing. it doesn't just remain that, yes, it's on one-to-one, face-to-face, or only when we come at the very fact that today we are conducting and you have had 122nd, what you call webinars itself shows the success there. So yesterday's strength is today's core incompetence. I think it's a very statement which you can feel how and why, but this is how it is. Many times we get stuck to this. So there are many cases, if you could see here what has happened to people and big companies, which was once in reckoning name, but because they says, okay, that's our strength, nothing will go wrong, we can just continue to sail, and they're in for shocks. We have these examples of Nokia and many more. We have Kodak and so many Indian and foreign companies that have, really got this jolt because they were basking in their glory, thinking things will not change. And they're okay, their strength is enough to sail through whatever it is. But no, this becomes a big eye opener, but that eye opener gives a big jolt. So let's come to what we need to do is pursue with wise persistence. So this is something at the base I would like to share with you all, that you need to keep pressing and keep going, but we need to have this wise persistence. And how does this wisdom comes? Wisdom comes when we keep our eyes, ears, our whole senses open. We need to be sensitive and aware about what's happening around. We cannot be in our safety cocoon. We have to look around because the environment speaks, the environment talks, the environment gives enough of signals that yes, we need to change and where we need to pursue, and also keep the larger purpose. As Sir said, we need to have that larger, not that narrow mindset, oh, today I am earning, it's fine, it's the profit that's coming, it's okay. No, we need to persist in the line with a larger purpose and keep the society, the people for whom we are doing business, because it's they who really dictate, it's they who matter, it's they who really spell our business success. So we need to look at that, okay? And you could see so many examples which have made revolutionary and all this. A few examples I have just put in here, all this, they have changed the way world is looking at stay, hotel, travel. You have so many examples, and each of you could relate to in your own neighborhood. There would be so many things. All your so-called apps that we are enjoying today at our fingertips in minutes, that we are served today, be it food, grocery, things, anything. That's what's happening today. So persistence, you have to be stay put, because small jolts, if you are put off, and what will keep us on focus is the bigger purpose, that larger purpose. Because when your eyes is there, as they say, na, when you're jumping from the cliff, आप कहीं ऊपर से जब वो जंपिंग करते हो, आप नीचे नहीं देखना चाहिए. नीचे देखोगे तो आप हिल जाओगे, डगमगा जाओगे, चक्कर आएगा. So always they say when you jump, you look up and jump. Don't look down. So that's where you look at the larger, bigger purpose that will keep you oh, I have got this horizon. I have got a big thing to reach. Yeah. And that's where, so persistence with a larger purpose. Now, I am really inspired by this gentleman. How many of you know about him? Can someone tell me? Do you all know about this person? Someone I was not aware earlier, but recently I came across, knowing about him, but he is a very significant person. Do you all know? Can anyone know who is this person? Very much Indian, very much Deshi. Yeah? Sir, anyone? कोई है सर जो इसको जानता है? Yeah? I don't know. But anyway, let's move further. At this point, this person is none other, which I think you all can, either you know or you can Google and find out. He is Guru Raj Deshpande. He's made a revolution. He is not of today, but some years back. And what has he said? A little bit about him. I'll just put it on the screen, which I think will open each one's eyes. If you look here, what is he? there are some very powerful statements that he has made, which I think we all should be looking at it. So Gururaj Deshpande actually was rated the richest Indian on the earth with a personal worth in excess of $4 billion, that is over rupees 17,000 crores. But he's a man with a purpose and with a difference. And what has he to say? An idea does not have an impact. He talks on impact. Because when, as an entrepreneur, the end thing is what is the impact that you make on the society or people's life, unless it is directed to some burning problem in the world. It's not just trivial, aise kuch nahi. You have to look out. It has to pain you. The need has to be felt that there is a burning problem, need of the society that you're addressing, because that gives fulfillment. You're really giving out something. So two powerful statements that he has made here, that is idea plus relevance is impact. We may have an idea, but if it is not relevant, many a times that relevance is important. What is it really going to make a change in the society? Is it needed in the society? Are people looking forward for it? And that's how so many new things have come into this world, will make an impact. And relevance plus innovation again will make an impact. So these are two powerful statements that he has made, this formula. And just a bit about this Guru Raj Deshpande, I think you would have already read about it, and more you can always explore. You can see he was not an entrepreneur at the beginning. He was a good academician. He was highly qualified. He was in the MIT as a professor. He is a professor turned entrepreneur. One of his mentors in that actually started off a company at that point of time, which I think Motorola's sister concern or something, which was actually a failing company, where I think his mentor went there, and then he called him there, and that was the turning point for him from a professor. Otherwise, he would have settled down as one of the top-notch professors in MIT or something. Then he went there, and from there on, he did not look back. Company after company he co-founded. You could see here Chemsford, which he sold, then Sycamore Networks, and finally he came back to India. He is very much Indian, Deshi. He is from Karnataka, Hubli, where he has set up something called as Deshpande Foundation. So you could see he's chairman of so many things. He's a life member, and he was also on a roll or this with President Obama. So you could see so many things that this gentleman, actually, I was really at awe with him. We see the big icons all, but I think this person is less talked about because he is of slightly earlier years. But this is what really makes a difference if we could look at this person. Yeah. So another thing, first we saw some success formulas that I am just trying to share with you all. First of all is persistence with a bigger purpose. Second is, of course, integrity. No two ways of looking at it, because integrity counts. So what does it mean? It's credibility, commitment, and courage. That is the formula for integrity. And it's not easy, my dear friends. And I think easy said than done. You need to be credible. You need to walk your talk. You need to have your commitment and courage to do the right thing. And in doing that, there will be obstacles, there will be challenges. But yes, we need to stay put. A person with integrity can sustain the storm. So it's very important. And only when you have that integrity, people will have trust in you. People will look up to you to associate, to connect. And that's where you build networks. So whole relationship is building on that. When people know that I can depend upon this person based on his product, service, whatever you call it. And of course, this statement is there. And once you have that consolidated network, that really is your net worth. So we need to walk the talk, the passion and courage, all these things are there. I'm just moving on. And then something that you need to have is passion and compassion. One thing is obsession. So beyond obsession for what you're doing, unless and until you're committed, you live what you're doing, you should have something called as passion and compassion. I've just picked up these people because they are there. We can look up to them and get inspired. I think you all know these people had their own tough younger days, they went through a lot of troubles, challenges, but they sailed through because they had all these qualities in them. So that's how, in spite of all the hindrances, they could come out, and they are icons today where people draw inspiration from them. This is again important aspect, because in today's world, we need to know how to mitigate the risk, because risk is always there. If we get bogged down or constrained by taking risk, if we remain in that comfort zone, because there is a risk at every point. It could mean there could be some losses, some trouble, some pain, some lose outs. But then if you're with your bigger purpose and integrity and something that you're focused, then you could see a better horizon beyond risk taking. So definitely this is another important aspect that you could see, that is beyond risk taking. That is what you need to do. So, and again, one more point that I would like to share with you all, it's not only about execution. Yes, action is important. You need to do, but just doing doesn't help. Just you need to do with the bigger picture in mind. As I said, the bigger purpose. So when you're doing it, see, it's not only impacting your current or present, but how it's going to impact the future, or how is it going to take you to that future. So the big picture has always to be there. So that's why, especially for small entrepreneurs, MSMEs, we need to get into that framework of drawing out our vision, followed by mission, the purpose, because it's not only for big corporates. We need it, everyone, because that really takes you forward. So looking beyond just execution. And as wonderfully it's put here, foresight is context sensitivity plus instinct. And this is something human beings are beautifully wired with. हमारे पास ये instinct है और sensitivity भी है. So you need to be sensitive to the context. And context can change. You cannot have the same thing. So you have to be sensitive to what's happening here and now. And you need to know, and something that's coming from within, that instinct. Both put together can really make you think what's going to happen, give you a foresight, and it does work. And that's how many people have forward. Now, these were the examples which I said. All these companies were corporations that failed to innovate. They couldn't be sensitive to the changes, to the environment, to what's happening around in terms of technology, customers' need, aspirations need. Where is the wave going? How is the wind blowing? And that actually then took them off the scene. They failed to innovate. So this is something we need to. So I'll just take it, and I think at this point I'll just stop it with this particular slide, and then we can open out for questions and answers. So this is something that I want to put forth, that purpose is more important than vision. So your vision itself is constructed out of your purpose. So purpose need to be there, and it's very, very significant. A noble purpose, as sir said, then your whole vision changes with respect to the business, your product, your services. Okay, so a strong sense of purpose is good for one's business. So one should be a purpose-driven organization, passion about finding yourself, purpose about losing yourself. What does it mean is just get involved in it. You just drown in it. You talk, walk, everything in it. So the purpose becomes your life, motivation, everything. So it's about losing yourself. Then you don't see you, me, myself, what have I gained? That happens. As someone has put, money and all is something that happens. But what are you looking forward as a purpose? And that fuels profits. So profit isn't a purpose, it's a result. I think someone has rightly shared also in the chat. So to have a purpose means the things we do are of real value to others. So I will just leave at this aspect. Okay, so we've discussed all that, and I will just summate all these things. For us, we need to build for philosophy, have a strong system for mentorship, create a culture of delayed gratification. This is a beautiful sentence that I liked. Delayed, it's not instant gratification. Aaj kiya aur mujhe abhi fayda hona chahiye. No, it takes time for things to mature and really give back. It's the gratification when it is sustained. So you need to create a culture. It's not right now, jhatapati nahi hai. Don't look for quick gains. Look for delayed gratification. It has to sustain, it has to go beyond, leaving a legacy, how people are going to benefit it, and various things. So just start, whether it is you're small or things are not going good, doesn't matter. What we need to do is, it's always somewhere, various business stages are there. I'm not going to touch upon this, but finally I just leave it with all these thoughts here, and just say a summation of all this. And I think we can take a pause and look at some question and answers and more interactions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request everyone to put your questions in the chat box, or you can directly ask.
You can even share your experience, more than welcome, because that will be more valuable to all. Anything, I leave it to you all. Can I close my presentation?
Yes, sir. I request
Yeah, thank you.
everyone to please put your questions in the chat box.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, you told only success rate. What is the success rate like this? About 1,000 persons or 2,000 persons work. What is the success rate?
See, statistic shows that in entrepreneurship, success rate is very, very less. Okay. People who start up, especially in startups. Now, the reason, again, as I said, success, I still am a person who says we should not, actually hold on to the word success. Although we talk about this word, because sometimes success itself comes as a limitation, handicap, because there are times where when we define success as something, then if you're not able to match it, it becomes demotivating. So it's the fulfillment that you need to see. If you have your purpose, that becomes so strong that whatever things come, but that doesn't mean you do anyhow, somehow. You have to be driven by certain strong foundation, basis, and principles and values, and these things are non-negotiable. So, as you say, yes, any good thing, that is why you find successful people less. Otherwise, everyone would be getting everything that they wanted. And even these sessions is not one time. There are so many where we keep on. Now, the point what I try to say, this is not the first session that either you are going through or even I am taking it or going through. But every individual needs this vitamin M motivation. It's not that we don't know, but we all need to keep abreast, keep seeing what's happening new. What are we? It's not about every time something new. We are talking things that we know, but it only refreshes, re-energizes it, reaffirms. We get back on track. Maybe at times we are a bit derailed, we can get back on track. So success, yes, if you look at in absolutes, then of course the percentage is very less, because people do get disarrayed. And I think we have got enough of examples where situations are like this. Big, even the mighty can fall.
Sir, any luck is connected to success?
Sir, I am of the propagating that luck is something you define. Okay, don't leave it to chance, don't leave it to someone else to define your luck. I will be someone who will advocate that luck is you yourself, you define your luck. I don't mean that aapko nastik hona hai. You have to depend upon Almighty. Yeah, but that's there, because that again gives you an anchor. See, we all need an anchor. We need a mentor. We need a coach. We may be the best, but in our journey, we need. And God is, whatever you believe in, some supernatural, God, Almighty, nature, that is somewhere you anchor, because anyone or any person, any entity from which you can draw, a resource from you can draw something that gives you on the move, a positive, a hope, a future, is what it is all about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Neil sir, can I intervene? I
Sir,
just
please,
had the
आपका आवाज सुनना है.
opportunity. ये एक अभी मेरा recent interaction में, in fact, I had this statistic. 10% is the success rate, sir, statistically.
Yeah,
10% only
मैं
because
फिगर नहीं देना चाहता था क्योंकि कोई उसको 9 भी बोले 11 भी बोले, it doesn't make a big
15 भी
difference.
बोलने दीजिए. ओनली थिंग इज फर्स्ट
हाँ.
ईयर में ही 10% तो लुढ़क जाते हैं, बाकी सब्सिक्वेंट ईयर्स में लुढ़कते हैं. आई मीन
Yes,
दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स. एंड एज यू राइटली सेड कि पीपल डोंट, एक फेलियर हुआ एंड पीपल क्लोज डाउन, उसका
yeah,
गुरु मंत्र भी आपने ही बोला है कि बेसिकली इट इज लाइक फिल्म मेकिंग. यू हैव टू मेक 20 फिल्म्स टू मेक वन हिट.
yes, yes.
यू नो
तब जाके
इवन
एक
द
RRR बनता है.
हाँ, 20 फेलियर के बाद इट इज लाइक अगेन इट इज ऑल फिलोसॉफी एज यू सेड कि एक बेचारा डिस्कवरी चैनल में एक शेर होता है, द सक्सेस रेट ऑफ हंटिंग इज ऑल्सो 1:12. वो 12 अटेम्प्ट
Yes.
करती है शेरनी अपने बच्चों के साथ, एंड देन शी लैंड्स अप इनटू वन शिकार. सो एंड इट अप्लाई इवन इन एन IAS एग्जामिनेशन. आई थिंक those guys who keep on persevering, फर्स्ट ईयर में बहुत कम लोगों का होता है उधर भी. So it is again a philosophy of life kind of thing. तो आज we never
Very true.
expected the science of entrepreneurship from you, but ये philosophy ज्यादा जरूरी है. I think this philosophy is more important than the logic and science. And I think there is an interesting question on the chat box, which is
Yeah,
before we go to Dr. Kataria, because he has a lot to say. So ये साहब इसका पढ़िए. संजय जी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है चैट बॉक्स में, which is something like, is Adani a role model for aspiring?
let me answer this. Let me answer this. See, again, it's you have to connect your purpose with someone. Okay. Why it's only Adani? You can take any name for that matter. So, कौन किसका role model बनता है, is something, a very personal thing from the point of what is your purpose, what are you in business for. Otherwise, again, as I said, it's like searching the key. Okay. आपको की आपके घर में ढूंढना है, because for you, that is where everything, you cannot equate or compare yourself per se with anyone. You may take some qualities from him. You can see what all you want to draw from that. That's up to us. So there is nothing like a perfect role model. Okay. Because अभी आज वो शिखर पर है तो ठीक है, he will go through something else, then it will be something else. So all these things are always in a flux and it changes, but we need to remain focused. So that is where we need to, and we need that wisdom. Okay. So that's very important, where we need to. So there is nothing like aspiring entrepreneurs. अब अडानी में क्या वो देखेंगे, that again is a question. So for aspiring entrepreneurs, they need to be grounded first of all, touch base with the reality. They need to know why are they entrepreneurs, what's their purpose. It cannot be Adani story copy pasted at all. So that's what my thing is. Anyone else can add more.
नहीं होना चाहिए सबके. The role model, you should only pick up one good point of each and of somebody who impresses you. Pick one good point, let us say the vision.
And test it out. Test and try it out. It may not work for you.
It may not work for you. In fact, if somebody creates a science around what Ambani has done or what Ratan Tata has done, and then if you start step 1, step 2, step 20, step 30, if you follow all the steps diligently, I can assure you none of us can become like that, by following those 30
जिंदगी
steps.
निकल जाएगा.
Zindagi nikal jayega. So there is no science and logic. Let us hear from Dr.
Yeah.
Kataria. What was his science or
Yes, yes,
logic
yes.
and philosophy? Did he follow a
but-
science or did he follow a philosophy?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. This is a very interesting discussion which is going on. And I can only say what happened. If you see now the COVID time, we had were dependent upon getting the medical devices from abroad. And we were dependent upon external suppliers. Then this was the opportunity. What I want to say is the external atmosphere on the environment that counts a lot. When you strike, when you launch your product, which market you launch your product. So there is also science involved.
Yes.
So then if you see now 2021, 22, medical devices, that increment is almost 30%. Even all the new entrepreneurs, more than 50% were successful because there was a demand and supply. Supply was short, demand was good. Even I have seen very closely associated with SR and Reliance, and I have seen they launch their product right in time. Like SR, they went to offshore. They found is a big market. I'm talking about late 70s. And then they bought diving vessels. And from there, their growth was tremendous. And then they put the steel plant, first sponge steel plant, which was again a successful. Of course, then of course they went to the refinery where they burned themselves. But again, it is a lot of external factors also count. Plus, today, even the small entrepreneurs, when we are there, we are always worried about getting the right consultant. As you rightly say, you need to have advice, you need to have mentors, you need to have trainers, to facilitators, to give you the way it has to be done. Like this on our case, when we started in 1999. So I went big way overseas market. But the overseas market, of course, it was a good market, excellent market, but it has its own problems, language problems, then getting the right people, having the committed people, a lot of things. And then we were only successful 50%. If you open about 10 offices, 5 offices could survive long, where we got the right atmosphere, right people, committed people, and all these things. So management is a very complex system. We can't make any formula that this formula is going to work, the other formula is not going to work. So that is my experience, which I want to share. Thank you, sir.
Very true, sir. Very true. Sir Dilip Negi ji, I think you have put a very interesting question on how can we make an entrepreneur sustainable model when the success rate is poor? Yeah, it's a very practical question, but we need to understand first the basis of entrepreneurship. So the basis of entrepreneurship itself needs to be understood. It's to create, it's to deliver and capture the value of all its stakeholders without depleting. See, today it is like, they talk about a sustaining model. That is, if you see the economy, it has to be something that where you take about everything into consideration. So if you really have to be successful in true sense, you have to create value, capture value for all stakeholders without depleting the natural, economic, and even the social capital on which it relies on. So it's the broader thing. So अगर आपकी सोच बड़ी है कि आप सिर्फ एक प्रोडक्ट सर्विस बना के बेच नहीं रहे हो, but then down the line you're also seeing the ecosystem, what is there. Are you giving value to all the stakeholders? Then it makes a difference. Then क्या होता है, वो जैसे बोलते हैं ना, जब आपका ये सही है, everyone will rally. Then you get the support of everyone. See, when you include everyone and see that everyone is there, so then you're not alone. So even when a storm or something comes, there are people who stand by. That's how things happen. So I think somewhere it's again starts. There are no 2 points. It all starts in the way you have in the mindset. अगर start ही wrong हो गया, तो फिर कोई भी मॉडल काम नहीं करेगा. So the model में आपको यही देखना है कि हमको कितना holistic है. Are we really taking care in the journey, the whole stakeholders, and what are we really looking at it? So I just want to give this a broad year, because otherwise there is no success formula. Or I mean, there are many models. आप Google out करेंगे तो बहुत models मिलेगा. But then if everything is available in the Google, why success rate is low? I mean, the question comes to that. And I think each one has his or her story. There are a lot of success. And one more thing is listening to good entrepreneurs' journey, somewhere you can connect with practicality. And that is why these sessions and our interactions, we should always be like sponge, where we can absorb things that we want, release what we don't want, and in the process we get refined in the process. And it's a daily learning, it's a daily experience journey. There is nothing like ab mera pura ho gaya hai. That's what I mean is my take in my journey. But thanks for that question.
नहीं है सब नेगी साहब, इसमें something comes to my mind. You know, when we travel across the countryside, you are looking for some good place to eat something, जैसे कोल्हापुर जा रहे हैं, you look for some vada pav or some misal pav or something, people point to only one or two places, यार for XYZ जगह, for example, मिठाई लानी है, तो you have a very limited brands in a place like Navi Mumbai also. कहाँ से लानी है? We have one outlet of Jama, we have one outlet of this Prashant Corner, बाकी वो तो दुनिया भर की छोटी छोटी दुकानें हैं, उनके बगल में ही है. The issue is, as you rightly said, there इसकी philosophy इसमें क्या है? सब कोई science और logic नहीं चलती, और it is basically, your, I don't know, Baveja sahab is raising his hand, for long. I
Yeah,
think
Baveja ji.
we should hear him.
Yeah,
We should
please.
hear him also.
Please,
Yeah.
please. Baveja sir.
Yeah,
आप
unmute
mute है
yourself.
शायद.
I think the host should unmute him.
So, no, sir, we are not able to hear you. He's already unmuted only.
Unmute कीजिए sir. Unmute. Baveja sir. I think
So you're not audible.
till then you can take another question, Neil sir.
Yeah, anyone is there. I think whatever was in the chat, I think we
Yeah, chat
attempted
में
to.
नहीं है, but Meghi ji, can you just prompt the others too? Because now we have very limited time left also.
Yes, I request everyone to please put your questions in the chat box, or you can directly ask.
इतना अच्छा discussion है, people should be asking. It is for
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a question.
Hi, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
So in a journey of entrepreneurship, risk taking is one of the very big quality. Like, entrepreneur enjoys high risk, high return. So, but sometimes we take a risk, and that risk goes against entrepreneur, and the whole corpus and the investment it goes west, and the entrepreneurs really fall down. So how do you think, like, this risk taking versus the money that is invested? So how do you think that one must, guard against or be cautious about and all that?
Sanjay ji, I think it's a very practical thing. This again draws to some amount of wisdom. See, when we talk about risk, okay, kahan pe risk nahi hai? At every moment of our life, there is risk. So that doesn't stop us from taking decisions or doing something. So that's why we said that it is not a gamble, or it is not something that, yeah. So there are some wisdom midgets which are there, which, fundamentals which you should know in business. Like many a times, we also mix up personal money with business money. These are the things like people go about it, and then about loan, going into debts. There are so many cautions in the financial aspects one need to keep in mind. Many a times people mix up in both and end up in a situation when you need to invest, how you need to invest, what all you can mix up, because you need to differentiate what is your personal money and what is business money. Many a times people camouflage that and then run into issues. And when you take loan for meeting your sustenance, that is the most dangerous thing. Loan should always be for growth or development and not for meeting your regular things. फॉर पेइंग सैलरी और बिल भरना या वो करना, रूटीन के लिए अगर आप लोन लेके कर रहे हो, दैट इज द मोस्ट रॉन्ग थिंग इन बिजनेस दैट वन डज. सो मेनी अ टाइम्स now these are all business acumen or wisdom. Now how does it come? Yes, it will come only when we said we need to have mentors, we need to have coaches. See, everything we are not born with. As I'm talking also, even with these interactions, one gets insights. So risk taking is in every part of our life. In business, why it is more? Because it's money. The impact is more. The impact, whether it is positive or negative. So all the more you need to be. That's why, and again, one more thing in business, we always think, especially small people, they think, I know all, everything. You are not dependable on others, or you don't want to give it others. You want to manage accounts, finance, sales, marketing, one man show. Because you feel अगर लोगों को एम्प्लॉय करेगा तो खर्चा होता है, या फिर लोगों को रखा तो वो कुछ ले जाएगा. But these are all some myths that we live with, especially small business people. So we should think big and broad that we are here to enable people. So risk to हर point पे रहता है, but how are we really mitigating that risk? So you need to take people along, you need experts, you need all these things. So we in our window will be limited. हमारे पास कितना भी हो, we should know what is it that we need to. So sometimes you have to have people with you or know where they will give you insights on finance. That's why you have to take your chartered accountant with you. Many a times हम क्या करते हैं, chartered accountant सिर्फ आखिरी में sign करना या filing. No, chartered accountant is your ally, he is your friend. आप उसको कितना लेते हो, because तभी आपको वो जानकारी देगा. There is so much that we don't know. At least I will confess, I am not a financial guy, but all these things happen. So risk again is something that you have to take, but it is with full due diligence and calculations and understanding. So this is my take on the whole thing. Others can always put forth.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I would like to give two personal examples where I come
Please.
across with the people, and I also feel that they are also entrepreneurs. Long time back, I was traveling in a train, and three young Sikh gentlemen, they were traveling with me. Probably they were coming from Manmad or Nasik. And I asked them, what you do? They said, sir, we are doing Kirtan. And our aspiration is to do our Kirtan sometime in Amritsar Gurdwara, which is the highest seat of so-called religious sanctum. And after 3.5 or 4 years later, I really saw them on the scale working from or reciting the Kirtan from Amritsar Gurdwara. Now, entrepreneurship, we always link in a different way. But I must think that entrepreneurship is what is our passion. How do we achieve it? How do we reach to those scales of height which we have intended, and finally we have done with that? Unfortunately, in today's context, we always link the entrepreneurship only limited to my flourishing of business. I fully agree that money is also equally important, but notwithstanding that, the goals, the targets, the thoughts of entrepreneurial advancement differs from person to person, differs from entity to entity, differs from different thoughts of backgrounds of the people, what they aspire for. So that is how I look at as far as definition of entrepreneurship is concerned. And Sudeshi has rightly given an example. In a roadside dhaba, suddenly you find some dhabas are flourishing, not because they are at a 5-star place, but because their type of service, their quickness of service, and the taste which suits everyone who is passing by also makes them a success businessman or a success entrepreneur. This is what I wish to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Very innovative insights. Entrepreneurship is not merely about selling products and services. Each of us in some way or the other can exhibit entrepreneurship. Yes. Neil sir, I hope you will agree with that statement. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think we all echoed the same thing.
yeah.
So absolutely.
It's not about, yeah. मतलब even what we do in you are doing in IST, it is a part of entrepreneurship, doing something differently, doing something differently जो पहले नहीं किया, थोड़ा सा कोशिश करते हैं करने की, with all the risks of course, with calculated risks,
Yes, yes.
और आपने कई बार बोल भी दिया, it's more of a mindset rather than a step by step process.
Yeah, see, I have a restaurant at Navi Mumbai. So it is there since last 6 months. So, I mean, the journey of 6 months is very eventful. I mean, still so far I have not booked the profit. It is uh, it is no profit, no loss. I mean, I have to spend from my own pocket. Initial expenses was about 3 to 4 lakhs, and every month there is a continuous expenses of 60, 50, 60,000 rupees. And the return, whatever I'm getting, that is going in the plowing in the, like, in the material and this and that. So 6 months are bygone, but I have not seen the light at the end of the tunnel. But I feel that, I have to have patience. At least I should give 1 year to this venture to really see the meaning out of it. What do you think?
Yeah, what you say is right. As I earlier mentioned, persistence has to be there, but persistence with wisdom. Okay. And wisdom comes not only from your own experience, but also sensing the environment. See, as I said, a small, let me also add on to what Baveja ji and Sudeshi ji, just down my road, there is a typical Malwani Maharashtrian restaurant, okay, which offers cuisine, which is typically Maharashtrian restaurant, which is, what Malwani. Now, there are people standing in queue. It is a small gala shop, okay, not a 5-star, nothing. He serves in very simple, but his niche is authentic Malwani food, the fish and other things that he serves. Now, as they said, no, people come from far off. He has his dedicated customers. So, and he went through all this COVID. Now, what has happened? Next to him also, there are same type of eating joints which came. 4 came during the last 2 years. They couldn't sustain. They just had to shut down. But this person is running through COVID even now, and he is running quite well. Now, what is the difference? People came with vada pav joints, with that joint. So the difference comes here. What I have experienced looking at them, though I am not from the food industry, is what are you offering, which is something unique. As Sudesh ji said, that people recommend, or they reckon you with that particular thing, cuisine, that you give. And the next one is the relationship. Ek baar aaye to baar baar aaye. So there are a lot of things that go, and it's of course takes time, but it's not about taking time, but in that time, are you building up? It cannot be कि भाई time लग रहा है ना तो ठीक है, but every day has to be a day of fulfillment. Somewhere you're adding value. The customer goes back saying, yes, I will keep that in mind to come to you again next time. It's not a passing joint कि मैंने चाय पिया और आगे बढ़ गया, दूसरा बार तुम्हारे पास आए नहीं आए कोई गारंटी नहीं है. So this is where it difference. If you're offering just another vada pav जो बाहर ठेले वाला बेचता है, वहां से गरम गरम लोग खाते हैं. So each item or each food thing, it's a very special thing, especially in food industry. It could be small, big, whatever, but अगर वो बैठ जाता है एक कस्टमर के दिमाग में, then that's what makes it different. There are so many such specialized joints where people come all the way to eat and relish that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is somewhere you have to sustain, but it's sustaining with wisdom. It's not just taking the time, but every time you need to ascertain that whether your product is something unique that people will identify you with. कि ये जॉइंट में ये फूड, मालवनी फूड, कटक करके वो ढाबा याद आना चाहिए लोगों को. एंड दे विल ब्रिंग देयर फ्रेंड्स एंड अदर्स एंड ऑल दैट, दे विल कम आउट ऑफ द वे, भाई खाना इधर चलो. they don't mind that, then all other things become subset to what you're going to look forward through that food and enjoyment. So somewhere we need to be sensitive, so that big corporates, so the word CRM and all those things are there, blah, blah. But we need to bring it down to base level and see, are we really touching? And are we really touching the taste of people? And are they, like connecting us with what we are offering? So somewhere it's a journey, but we need to be mindful and sensitive about it.
Yeah.
Are we really getting that?
Sure.
So that's what is this from whatever I have experienced and
नहीं, आपने
observed.
बहुत अच्छा बोला साहब। इनका इशू क्या हो सकता है, निश बनाना पड़ेगा आपको एक दैट वो निश में ही चलता है फूड इंडस्ट्री। हम लोग भी इडली एक पर्टिकुलर जगह से ही लेते हैं पूरे सी वुड में,
अच्छा अच्छा।
पर्टिकुलर जगह
I
से
will
साउथ
share
में।
with you. एक बेलापुर में एक है सर, I don't know whether you know, एक नाद ब्रह्म इडली करके, he
या
just
ना,
इडली,
यस यस।
कितना मालूम है उसका? ये है 10 रुपया एक इडली। पीपल क्यू में खड़ा है सर। आई एम सो सरप्राइज, बट इज इडली सो सॉफ्ट एंड सो, ये लोग खड़े रहते एंड द वे मार्केट 10 रुपीज इडली।
10 रुपया
तो ऐसे
या
लग रहा है भाई एहसान कर रहा है वो हमारे ऊपर, इडली
एहसान
10
कर
रुपए
रहे
में
हैं।
देके।
यहाँ भी आ गया सर वो सी वुड
हाँ,
स्टेशन के
सो
सामने ना,
दीज आर ऑल समथिंग फॉर अस टू लर्न एंड सी अराउंड,
निश निश बना दिया ना कि कॉलेज के बच्चे के पास 20 रुपया नहीं है तो 10 रुपए का खा लेगा आके, वो एक
और
निश
क्या।
बन गया
Got it.
है ना। आई थिंक टू थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर संजय जी कि एक तो
Yeah.
टारगेट मार्केट आइडेंटिफाई करना। यू कांट सर्व एवरीबडी फ्रॉम प्राइम मिनिस्टर टू द लेबर, यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई वन टारगेट मार्केट। कॉलेज क्राउड को ही कर लीजिए ना, विले पार्ले में क्या है, पूरा कॉलेज क्राउड का पैसा आता है पार्ले के सैंडविच में, NMIMS के सामने,
हाँ हाँ
बिल्कुल।
टोटली कॉलेज क्राउड यार, कंप्लीटली।
बरोबर है।
आप एक मार्केट टारगेट मार्केट को आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा। जामा ने किया है सिंधी और पंजाबी लोगों का मार्केट। जामा के पास सारे पंजाबी सिंधी लोग जाते हैं, एंड उसका टेस्ट भी अकॉर्डिंगली होता है पूरा। प्रशांत इज आइडेंटिफाइड द महाराष्ट्रियन मार्केट,
उसका बैनर देखो कितना बड़ा लग रहा है, हर एक फेस्टिवल, हर एक ओकेशन के लिए वो यूनिक डालता है वहां पे।
यस
सो इट्स अ
हाँ।
मनी दैट इज वेल स्पेंट इन
वेरी ट्रू,
एडवर्टाइजिंग।
वेरी ट्रू। एंड दिस मिठाई वाले हैज आइडेंटिफाइड द कॉर्पोरेट मार्केट। आज किसी भी
और
बड़ी कंपनी के लंच में, पेंट्री में, बड़ी बड़ी कंपनी इंक्लूडिंग माय ओन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन NPCI, कितना दूर है, अणुशक्ति नगर, और मिठाई वाला मलाड में है। तो स्वीट डिश तो वहीं से आती है, बिकॉज स्वीट डिश
यस
MM
यस,
से आएगी, कॉर्पोरेट की स्वीट डिश वहां से आएगी,
अच्छा अच्छा
बिकॉज ही कैन सप्लाई यू इन बल्क, ट्रक का ट्रक
बरोबर।
भर के देता है वो।
जी।
So I think, yeah, Sushma, I
Sir, 1
think,
minute. Sir, 1 minute.
yeah,
Sir, यदि close. Hello. Hello.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
Sir, is the genes quality or background of families is an influence for the success rate?
सर समझा नहीं मेरे को, आई डिड नॉट गेट
Genes
योर
quality.
क्वेश्चन।
Genes quality. Genes.
अच्छा, आप,
Forefather
ओके ओके।
genes.
सर जीन्स क्वालिटी अभी ऐसा है कि अभी आपको मैं एक एग्जांपल दे दूं रिलायंस का ही, व्हाट धीरूभाई अंबानी स्टार्टेड एंड व्हाट ही गेव एज अ पूंजी टू टू brothers, two of his sons. So what happened with both of them? अनिल अंबानी का क्या हुआ और मुकेश का क्या हुआ? तो जीन्स है तो दोनों में वही सेम काम करना चाहिए जीन्स। So the story is there that yeah, जीन्स तो ठीक है उसके बदल, और बस वो जीन्स को अगर आप सही नर्चरिंग नहीं करोगे तो वो जीन्स कहीं और चला जाएगा,
और टीना
ऑन ए
मुनीम की
लाइटर
तरफ
नोट।
जाएगा जीन सब,
हाँ
मतलब और टीना मुनीम के साइड में न ग्रेविटेट हो जाएगा जी। लेकिन
so yeah, all that is okay to say, but finally you have to build your own this, because there are a lot of distractions, diversions, where the other things can become more dominant.
इसमें सर दोनों ही चीजें है ना। वी हैव, कल सुधा मूर्ति का एक इंटरव्यू आ रहा था किसी न्यूज चैनल पे ना, वंडरफुल इंटरव्यू ऑन मिरर नाउ, and she said, when I married Murthy, he was an ordinary person, and I gave him some initial 50,000 rupees basically, and she was an ordinary girl. कोई जीन्स नहीं था, कोई जीन्स नहीं था। ऑन द अदर हैंड यू हैव ऑल दिस, एज यू राइटली सेड, उसके जीन्स भी था, सब कुछ था अनिल को, Dhirubhai के साथ में क्या था, he was from a social environment where, entrepreneurship was rampant, from that part of India. अगर आप वहां से आते हैं, that सीकर राजस्थान
Absolutely.
साइड से, या फिर from that सौराष्ट्र साइड, where हर घर से आज भी एक बंदा अमेरिका में मिलता ही है आपको, So everybody there is an entrepreneur. किसी ने पान की दुकान खोली है, तो किसी ने पंक्चर की
Yeah.
दुकान खोली है, जीन्स एंड ऑल, एंड बट देन द जीन्स को डायरेक्शन नहीं मिला तो गया काम से फिर, so
Yeah. The example that I shared about Desh Deshpande, he doesn't come from any business background. He comes from a very humble thing in Hubli in Karnataka. He went to Canada to pursue his higher studies, did his PhD, all those things there. But then there was a turning point when one of his mentors just called him, "Come join me. Why are you just in the doing Professor Giri?" And that became a turning point. He never looked back, and then it just grew. He made companies, sold, and he became a billionaire. So uska genes mein to apparently to nahi tha kuch bhi. It was only, yes, he was intellectual. He was a qualified, academician, everything. But kahin na kahin ye trigger ho gaya. So I think, as you said, na, this entrepreneurship कीड़ा is there, लेकिन हमको जागृत करना है उसको, और उसके लिए कुछ पर्पस मिलना है. Otherwise, it will just die.
very true, sir.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for the presentation, which you spoke about the entrepreneurial success, which cover the responsibility, shaping a positive mindset, finding your passion, and also explaining the topic in simplifying way. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, and my pleasure and privilege.
The next session is on 8th of April, which is the 123rd virtual webinar. It shall be taken by Mr. Ananthan Narayanan Iyer. He shall be talking about MSME Sustainable Z Certification Scheme on 8th April from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., followed with the question answer session. And the topics that he will be covering is about the Z vision and eligibility criteria, features of the Z scheme, Z certification process and parameters, benefits and incentive offered under the Z scheme, how to apply for Z. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development with integrated management system, which covers QMS, EMS, and OSHAs, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. So if you need any of the books, you can contact the below. Feedback form. Please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give your feedback. On behalf of the Sadgun Sang team, I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar a great success. Now we officially close the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Just leave, huh? Thank you, Sundar sir. We will catch up and meet sometime. Bye-bye and thank you.